Hi guys, this is Zone here at the Tech Quest with a shorter video this week and an update on something that I've been using for a couple of months now. So the Intel Core Ultra 7265K is a PC that I recently built for my own personal use as well as some editing for the videos that you see on this channel. On Saturday I was sat down playing some Elite Dangerous, a game that I've enjoyed immensely over the years, and Saturday night was no different. I've been playing for about half an hour when the PC randomly just shut down. Of course, not what I would expect. I turned the PC back on again and a number of warning lights came up on the motherboard's warning system, which all pointed towards eventually the graphics card being the issue. I had a RTX 3060 in there at the time. I took the graphics card out, and as I was playing with friends, I continued on the rest of my evening on the 265K's integrated graphics at an acceptable level of performance. On Sunday I took apart my PC and tried to use the Intel Arc B580 to rule out the graphics card being the problem, and it would not work. So it appears that the PCIe 5 slot, the silver slot just below the motherboard's NVMe shield, has actually failed on me. I've had this PC around 2 months and it's not something I would have expected to happen, certainly this quick. This leaves me in a bit of a conundrum. I've had the LGA 1851 platform now for 2 months, and a part of it has already failed on me once. Not the Ultra 7265K, which works absolutely fine alongside the memory and things like that, but the main board has stopped working. It wasn't a particularly cheap main board either, so I'm really disappointed actually. I usually buy Gigabyte for my motherboards, a brand that I've used over the years and trust them. But this MSI board was available for a pretty good price, so I took a punt on it, and it appears that hasn't paid off. I'll be returning the motherboard, and I'm not sure whether to continue with LGA 1851. I realise that this is probably just an oddity on certainly my account anyway, but I think that once a PC fails you, you then can't trust it going forward. Whenever I press the power button on the front of a PC, I expect it to work. I trust that it will work. And now that a component has already failed on me, certainly so quickly, I'm going to be always like, well, at least it turned on this time. At least it turned on that time. And I can't really do the things that I do with that kind of doubt in my mind. So it really leaves me in a position where, do I continue with LG 1851? Or do I perhaps move back towards something more familiar, such as something on AM5 maybe? It's kind of frustrating as a lot of my current projects that I'm planning on doing for the Tech Quest are all on that Western Digital NVMe here. So I don't have access to 90% of my project files. Of course, using the integrated graphics on this thing isn't a permanent solution either. So it's something that I've got to replace. I've got a number of projects on my 14400F PC, which I've actually been using the last few days while this thing is ready to be taken apart and the motherboard returned, which I'll get finished over the next week or so. But right now, videos are going to be a little bit slower while I contemplate what it is exactly I'm doing with this PC, whether I stick with LGA 1851 or move on to something more familiar. I actually think this is the first main board failure I've had certainly in 15 years, and I wouldn't have expected something like this to go wrong so quickly. I've been using this PC constantly for about 2 months, and apart from Saturday's failure, it has been pretty excellent actually. Yeah, the board has good features, but I'm not sure what's going on with that PCIe slot, and with it not working, I'm not sure where I'm going to go next. As for whether I stay on LGA 1851 or move on, I realise that that's probably just a unique quirkness on my account. But how do you guys deal with hardware failures? Do you just swap out the board and just get on with it like nothing happened? Or do you feel like the same way that I feel? Once a component fails on you, the whole PC then becomes compromised, I guess? As that you would never be able to fully trust that it's going to turn on every time you press on that button. Let me know in the comments. Until next time guys, take care, bye bye.